Hi.
Hello.
Hi,
Hi.
Alessandra. How are you?
Good. And you?
Good, good. Yeah, my name is Andrea Olsen. I'm one of the ARDD ambassadors, so very, very happy to be able to interview today. Uh,
Yeah.
yes, well, just a quick introduction myself. I've been with ARDD for the past 4 years now. I was the very first student ambassador, and it's still as exciting as it was the first time. So I'm hoping to see you at ARDD this year, but let's get started with just a quick introduction and what do you do?
Okay. So nice to meet you, Andrea. So my name is Alessandra Zonari. I'm co-founder and chief scientific officer at OneSkin. My background, I have researched skin for over like almost 15 years. I have a master and a PhD on stem cells and tissue engineering. More specifically, my PhD was on skin regeneration. And since we started OneSkin in 2016, we started to apply our knowledges on skin biology, on growing human tissues in the lab to understand better skin aging and find new molecules that could reverse the biological age of the skin.
How did you even get started in the longevity field?
So that's an interesting question because we started the company OneSkin with a different goal. Our goal was to use our knowledge to understand skin aging, to validate the products that are out there that are called anti-aging. But early on in the beginning, we start to notice that a lot of those products, they don't do anything to your skin or they can accelerate the markers of aging. And that's because they are not targeting any of the root causes of aging. And then we started to shift our mindset on the skin and the aging to not only to the beauty, but to connect with longevity. So this connection is usually overlooked. But we start to see, okay, if there are root causes that is causing skin aging, and the skin is the largest organ in our body, what's aging on the skin is affecting our longevity. The skin aging can be affecting the longevity. And that's when we started, yeah, probably there is a correlation there. The function of the skin is to be the largest besides being the largest organ of our body, is protecting. It's a barrier that protects our internal body from the external aggressors. So when we are aging, our skin gets more fragile, it gets thinner and more susceptible to damage to happen inside our body because it's so fragile. So we started to get interested and even do studies that's correlating like how maintaining a skin more strong and younger and more resilient can help us navigate the path of aging and improve our health span by like protecting our inner body. And we have a lot of interesting data on that showing that from other like research groups as well that show that with aging, like the more the skin barrier is fragile, the higher are the inflammatory markers inside our inner body. And when we restore this, we are able like to reduce the levels of inflammation internally. So was because of a gap in the market that caused anti-aging, a gap of like products that really are targeting what's addressing aging, that made us to look with other lens to the skin and correlate with longevity, and brought us to all this research on cellular senescence and finding molecules that could target senescent cells on the skin.
So when you're designing a new product, do you tend to look at like literature and what data is there, or do you have your own laboratories looking at certain
Yeah, so we started like looking on literature as well, but like we start building and defining the markers of skin aging. And we started testing like molecules that are already available, how they could reverse these markers of aging related to cellular senescence in the skin. And we screened for new peptides because peptides are active molecules that are safe to be applied as a cosmetic product. So we looked into peptides and we identified a new peptide that could target the senescent cells on the skin. So this was a collaboration with another group that had this library of peptides that we were screening. We also use computational biology. So from our first round of screen, we got 4 hits, and we were looking like to to peptides that would reduce the senescent cells on the skin without killing the healthy cells. So from the 4 hits of our first round of screening, we generate 700 new peptides, more or less 700 new peptides that we screened again until we identified this one that was reducing the senescence burden by 25 to 50% on the skin.
Wow, so you must have used some AI to actually generate those peptides?
Yeah, we used at that time, we were not calling AI, it was computational biology, was a software that from those 4 first hits was like creating new assembles, new ways of new molecules. So this is completely a novel molecule. It's not a molecule, a peptide that we are isolating from a source. It's like designed by a software, by a tool, AI, we can call AI now, to specifically target the senescent cells.
How long did it take to actually synthesize this whole new peptide?
So the process of the screening took us like 3 to 4 years, was the first years of the company. So the company we started in 2016. We started doing the screens in 2017. And by 2019, we had identified this molecule and we were like studying the mechanism of action. And then we started to, on the human skins that we grow in the lab or ex vivo skins, when we treat with that peptide, we were seeing the skin biological age being reversed and like markers of skin aging being reduced and inflammation being reduced, while collagen was increasing, hyaluronic acid was increasing. So after getting all this data, the next question was, would this molecule have any activity if applied topically on the skin in a topical product? So we start formulating this peptide into a topical cream, ensuring that would penetrate the skin. So we did the test of penetration. And then we ran a study, split phase, where we had the formula with the peptide and without the peptide. And we were able to see that the side that contained the peptide, there was an improvement on the skin barrier function. There was also like reduction of fine lines, improvement on the firmness of the skin, and even overall appearance. So from that, in 2020, we decided to create a brand and come to the market. We had the option of licensing to a big company, but we thought was a good opportunity to speak more, like to create a brand that could bring awareness on skin health and the connection of skin health with longevity. And then we decided to create our own brand and bring this product to the market. So in February 2021, we brought our first product to the market that was a face moisturizer that contains our peptide to be delivered topically on the skin. Mm-hmm. And from there to now, we had expand a line of skin products that are powered by this peptide to deliver to your whole body, specifically around the eyes. And we got like to complement your essential line of skin products, we also have sunscreens.
Mm-hmm. That sounds really interesting.
Yeah.
I was wondering, so it seems like you've been going through like a really long and interesting journey, but what are some challenges and what are some milestones that you had along the way?
Yeah, I think like the milestones definitely was building the platform and understanding skin aging that we achieved. A second milestone was identifying a new molecule that would target the senescent cells. The third milestone was having a product and launching, like validating the efficacy of this molecule in humans in clinical studies and bringing a product to the market. I think these were big milestones that we have achieved. And now we are on a growing phase of the company to take these products to more people, like bring awareness about the brand, about the product, and continue. But also the challenges continue the research and identifying novel molecules that can even be combined to this one to address even more hallmarks of aging and have better results on preventing the damage that's being accumulated on the skin with aging. So there's still the challenge of continue the innovation and finding what will be the next molecule, how we can even like get better results. Because so far, the peptide, it's not that the skin of a 70 years old person will go back to 20 years. There's a limitation there. So how we can like strengthen the results of this molecule with with other molecules as well.
So when you're testing the peptide, would you take literally different clinical study groups and then test it on different ages, for example?
Yeah, so in the lab, we're able like to receive skins from different donors and ages, and we have tested from early ages skins like early 30 years old up to 80, 85 years old. Our clinical studies, we reduce the demographic. The most demographic that we have data is from 45 to 55 years. But we have done, for instance, a clinical study with a cohort 60 to 90. So we kind of like, we have looked to the effect of this peptide in different cohorts as well, depending on the product too.
And out of interest, does the like nationality, skin color, skin texture then affect how well the peptide works on skin?
So this is very interesting because the mechanism that we are targeting, that's the senescent cells accumulation, this happens to any skin. Is a biological mechanism at the molecular level that's independent on the skin type, skin color, skin texture. So it really like the peptide, it can work on any skin that's aging, like it's addressing, like it's repairing damage and avoiding senescent, the cells to become late senescent cells and secrete a lot of inflammation. So therefore, this is a common mechanism that goes away with all like skin types.
Mm-hmm. And are there any other companies that are doing something similar? And if there are, what makes your company better?
Yeah, I mean, we were the first ones to kind of look to the skin and connect with longevity and target like root causes of skin aging and addressing senescent cells. So our molecule was the first one, and is the only one that has a publication, a scientific publication on reversing the biological age of the skin. There are other companies now that are emerging in the skincare industry that are also targeting some hallmarks of aging. Timeline Nutrition is one company, but they are not targeting, their molecules are not targeting the senescent cells. So it's different mechanisms of action.
Mm-hmm. And going back to ARDD, I was wondering, what are your goals and what are your hopes for this year's ARDD meeting?
Yeah, unfortunately, we will not be able to be there in person. But even though I always think ARDD, it's a conference that connects a lot of like the great research around aging and drug discovery. And I have already presented, I think 2 years ago, I gave a talk and my co-founder gave like 3 years ago as well. And it's always like a place to find good network. So for us, like expose OneSkin and our research. So for those that are interested or are researching something on skin as well, that want to have a partnership, that want to explore collaborations, is something that we are always open and looking forward to connect with a new research that's being doing in this area. And even sometimes because the mechanism of aging is the same independently of the tissue, sometimes like molecules that are working on a different type of research can also be explored for skin aging as well.
And for young students, let's say high school students or university students who are really interested in industry and longevity at the same time, would you have any recommendations for them?
Yeah, I think like for young students, it's always good to know those biotechs that are in longevity and reach to them for summer internship. A lot of the biotechs, even like OneSkin, we always receive summer interns. And it's very interesting that coincidentally, we work with a group from Denmark, the Denmark Silicon Valley from the DUT. So we receive students from Denmark every year to stay 5 months. They're on master program, not high school. But I feel like the industry, the biotech, can be a good place for them to do an internship and feel if this is something that they would like to pursue or not. So it's like an open space for that too.
I'm personally very interested in industry and longevity. I'm studying at Caltech right now, neuroscience, and I'm doing everything I can to learn the basics of well, biological science and longevity. So very, very useful feedback. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And regarding internships, so would you say, is there a specific number of students that you take every year, and what is the process to apply to your company?
Yeah, so we usually we take 1 or 2 students per year. It depends on the demand and the year. You can contact like on my personal email, alessandra@oneskin.co, or connect on my LinkedIn. We don't have, usually before summer, we're always looking for an intern during summer because it's when they're available. But even in different occasions, if depending on the student, the interest, and how we are like on our workload, we could open an exception or not, depending. It's an ongoing process, let's say.
Brilliant. Well, that's all of my questions for today. So thank you so much for answering all of them.
Thank you.